Long ago, there was a great king. This king possessed the most beautiful diamond. It was perfect in every way. The diamond brought the king great joy. He spent hours gazing at its beauty. But one day, tragedy occurred. The diamond fell from the king's grasp, smashing upon the marble floor. A deep, long scratch now marred its exquisite perfection. The king was distraught. He sent for his best artisans, pleading with them to fix his diamond. Each diamond cutter looked closely at the gem and shook his head sadly. The scratch was too deep to be repaired. Finally, one last diamond carver arrived and gazed at the gem from every direction. He told the king that he could create something beautiful out of its flaws. Within the week, the diamond cutter had returned. The king lifted the gem towards the light and saw that the long scratch still remained. He became furious. "Why do you mock me?" he yelled. "Look closer," said the artisan. Instead of seeing the scratch as a flaw, the artisan saw it as a stem of a rose. Patiently, he carved flowers, roots, and little tiny leaves, transforming an ugly imperfection into something unique, something truly remarkable. At the start of these High Holy Days, we too focus on our imperfections. We recognize that we made mistakes, we committed wrongs, we missed the mark. We'll spend the next 10 days searching, uncovering, and repairing the regrets that litter our lives. The question is, how will we grapple with our imperfections? The diamond carver recognized that our limitations can't be easily erased away or polished away. Imperfections don't just disappear. They must be transformed into something of lasting value. Our society, more than ever, believes in perfection. A politician misspeaks, an athlete takes the wrong shot, a teen idol fails to live up to her image, and we gladly lambast them publicly. Social media, TV ads, peer pressure push us towards that ever-elusive goal of perfection. We want the killer body, the Ivy League education, the high-flying job, the gorgeous home, and the perfectly behaved kids. I believe our striving towards perfection is not only unhealthy, but inherently un-Jewish. The Talmud teaches that the Torah was not given to the angels. God gave the ultimate gift, the treasure of Torah, not to those perfectly behaved angelic beings, but to us, human beings, even with all of our frailties and all of our many faults. Judaism does not expect or even ask that we be perfect. Our tradition teaches the reverse. Be true to who you are and work to better your lives and the lives of all who surround you. Nothing better illustrates this point than our understanding of God. When Moses and God meet for the first time, God shares God's name. I will be what I will be. The imperfect tense. Through our personal experience and stories shared through our tradition, we recognize that God is an imperfect being. God is continually changing and adapting, never reaching a state of perfection. We sometimes are challenged or even angered at God's limitations. But we are reminded that God makes mistakes just like we do. If God is not perfect, and the Torah was given to us even with all of our limitations, why must we continually strive for perfection? And why must we push our children to achieve unreasonable expectations? Many of you might not know this, but I guess there is no better time than tonight to come out of the closet and to admit that I am a perfectionist. Yes, I always want everything done the right way, at the right time. Being a perfectionist served me well as a teenager, through grad school, and especially as a rabbi. But something changed at the birth of my son. I've come to learn some incredibly important lessons. As a parent, there is no such thing as perfection. Caleb is smack dab in the middle of the terrible twos, and we are potty training to boot. I've come to the hard realization that I'm not a perfect parent. Like many others in this room, I've lost my cool. I said things I shouldn't have. I've acted rashly, and I didn't do my best. I've also come to the realization that although Caleb is incredible in every way, and I expel with joy every time I speak about him, I don't want him to be perfect either. He will make mistakes. He will definitely do things his way at his time, and he will have his own limitations. This year, as we reflect upon Teshuvah, as we work to better our own lives, I personally am wrestling with perfection. It's difficult to step back and affirm our flaws, and it's challenging to accept the limitations of others. But it's those imperfections that can transform our lives into something of lasting value. Don't get me wrong. I firmly believe in doing our best and working hard. They are truly admirable traits. My concern is when our end goal is always perfection. There is a danger when we expect perfection for ourselves and our loved ones. Sometimes we will use any means to get there, harming our bodies, working far too hard, cheating, finding the easy answer that might not always be the right answer. Striving for perfection could be a sign of low self-esteem or of an inability to believe in ourselves. We lose our identity, that understanding of who we are and what we believe, when we travel down the path that others assume for us. Imperfections are not always bad. It's our imperfections that allow us to see the flaws in our world and then to fix them. Just look at the story of our most beloved ancestors, Abraham and Sarah. These two stalwarts of the Jewish people were dedicated to our religion, fiercely loyal to our God, and advocates for social justice. Why? It was their imperfections that allowed them to see the cracks in our world and then work towards the betterment of all. Abraham and Sarah, as we will see tomorrow morning, were sometimes blind to the needs of family members and hurtful to loved ones. As the founders of our ancient faith, we would expect them to be perfect. Yet even God does not command perfection. God tells Abraham, "Walk in my ways and be whole." What a beautiful sentiment. Our goal as Jews is not to achieve perfection. Our mission is a journey towards wholeness. As the scholar Susan Handelman explains, be whole does not mean flawless or perfect. Be whole means on the way, towards others, towards the future. Since Abraham and Sarah, we Jews journey forth not towards perfection, but towards that pursuit of wholeness. A journey towards wholeness is not concerned with every detail of the minute or with every social expectation. It focuses on the big picture, on the larger goal of bettering our lives. That means allowing ourselves the freedom to fail. Often we are scared of failure, terrified that a wrong turn will careen us off the path of life. But failure makes us stronger. Moses stood before Pharaoh 10 times before he could let his people go. Moses was not worried about failing. He was not petrified how others viewed him. He kept on stumbling, kept on trying, and became stronger from the experience. It's not only Moses. Albert Einstein failed out of school. What? A nice Jewish boy didn't make the honor roll? And Oprah, queen of the television, was fired from her job because she was too emotional. She was unfit for TV. By taking risks, recognizing that we aren't perfect and are special for who we are, we can not only achieve our dreams, but pursue that path towards wholeness. We all feel the need to be perfect, but it is our kids who bear the brunt of the pressure. Beginning at an early age, our kids are told to not only achieve their best, but to be the best. Our kids are expected to be the valedictorian, the star athlete, the prom queen, the prom king, and now to tower over everyone else. Our teens continually jump through hoops in a race to nowhere. Recently, you might have seen Frank Bruni's column from the New York Times on how to survive the college admissions madness. Bruni will be speaking at Temple Sinai later this year, and I hope that you'll join us. He tells the story of Matt Levin, a senior from Cold Spring Harbor. Matt was about to hear from his top schools, and his parents, Craig and Diana, were worried about him and wrote him this letter expressing their thoughts. He could read the letter whenever he wanted. They just wanted him to know that they wrote the words before learning his fate. Dear Matt, on the night before you receive your first college response, we wanted to let you know that we could not be any prouder of you than we are today. Whether or not you get accepted does not determine how proud we are of everything you've accomplished and the wonderful person you have become. That will not change based on what admissions officers decide about your future. We will celebrate with joy wherever you get accepted. But your worth as a person, a student, and our son is not diminished or influenced in the least by what these colleges have decided. We love you as deep as the ocean, as high as the sky, all the way around the world and back again, and to wherever you are headed. Mom and Dad. Matt read these words hours after learning that he was rejected from his top 3 schools. As mentors, teachers, friends, and parents, we must remind our kids that we love and support them no matter which direction life takes them. We are proud of our kids for who they are, and our love will not be diminished. Long ago, a king possessed a beautiful diamond, a perfect gem that was marred by a deep, long scratch and imperfection. We are that diamond. Each one of us begins life as a perfect baby, But no matter where our journey takes us, we veer off in the wrong direction. We make mistakes and miss the mark. Deep down, we know that we possess flaws and blemishes, that we are imperfect. That faithful artisan recognized that our imperfections can be transformed into something unique, something remarkable, something even beautiful. During these high holy days, we become that artisan, transforming the blemishes that are upon our souls. We open our eyes to the journey ahead and recognize in our hearts that our goal is not perfection, but a pursuit of wholeness. Let us be willing to fail. Let us revel in our identity, and let us support our loved ones for who they are. Judaism doesn't expect us to be perfect. It only asks, be true to who you are and work to bring wholeness to our world. Shana Tova.